Hello, my dear friends. Hello, my dear listeners. How are you all? I hope we are doing our best to serve our duties with utmost honesty and love, right? So, today we are here to move forward through the life of our Master Shri Ramkrishna Paramhansa Dev to discover another chapter from his life. Today we are going to start the new chapter, and the name of this chapter is Last Visit to Kamarpukur. So let's proceed. Shortly after his meeting with Keshav Chandra Sen, Sri Ramakrishna saw a wonderful vision. There arose in his mind a desire to see Sri Chaitanya's Sankirtan procession, to know what it was like. One day, as he was standing outside his room, he saw in a vision a large concourse of men proceeding from the direction of the Panchavati towards the main gate of the temple garden and gradually disappearing behind the trees. He saw that Sri Chaitanya, with his two greatest companions, Nityananda and Advaita, was slowly advancing in the midst of that gathering, beside himself with divine fervor, while the vast multitude was also caught in the vortex of that tidal wave of spirituality. Some were dancing wildly, while others were stupefied with joy. The mad scene of some 4 centuries back was again enacted before the eyes of the Master. A few faces from amongst this congregation were clearly impressed upon his mind, and later on he identified them in some of his prominent disciples. This led him to conclude that these devotees must have belonged to Sri Chaitanya's group. Sometime after this, he went to Kamarpukur for the last time. While there, he paid a visit to several villages and joined in the Sankirtan which the Vaishnavas held. His ecstasy, resulting in frequent samadhi during the chant, attracted the people. The news went abroad, and many other Sankirtan parties came to the scene. The place where the master was staying was thronged to its utmost capacity with men and women. And day and night the Sankirtan went on. This is his own description of the incident. When I was staying at Hriday's, they took me to Shambazar. Just before entering the village, I had a vision of Sri Chaitanya, whence I understood that the people of the village were devotees of Chaitanya. The attraction of the Sankirtan was so great that for 7 days and nights there was constant gathering of people. All the time, one could hear music and dancing and nothing else. People climbed on the top of walls and trees to watch the scene. I stopped at Notobor Goswami's house, where there was a similar gathering throughout the day and night. In the morning, I used to slip away to a weaver's home for a little respite, but there too the crowd soon found me out and appeared with their tom toms and cymbals. Again, the same phenomenon. We used to bathe and have our meals at 3 in the afternoon. The report was noised abroad that there was a man who had died 7 times during the day and who had come back to life as many times, lest I should have an apoplectic fit. Rather, used to drag me to an open field, but there also the same swarm of people and the same noise of tom toms and cymbals. Hriday rebuked them, saying, "What do you mean by dodging us like this? Have we never heard Sankirtans before? From far off villages, people used to come and remain during the night also. It was there I understood what divine attraction was like. In the Lord's play on earth as an incarnation, the attraction is due to the influence of Yogamaya, the Lord's inscrutable power, which throws a charm over the hearts of all. He used to relate other interesting experiences during his visit. The local Goswamis, Vaishnava leaders, he said, came to quarrel with me. They thought we would claim a share of their dues, but they saw that I did not accept a single piece of cloth or even a piece of thread. Someone had described me to them as a knower of Brahman. Hence, they thought of testing me. And one of them put the question, why has he no rosary about his neck and no denominational mark on the forehead? He was answered by one among themselves. They have automatically dropped off like the dry branches of a coconut palm. With characteristics, with characteristic candor, he acknowledged the source of his familiar illustration whenever he made use of it, and explained how it signified the spontaneous disappearance on the drawing of knowledge of all appendages from the seeker after truth. Ridiculing foolish dogmatism, he said on more than one occasion at Shambazar and adjoining villages there are families of weavers. Many of them are Vaishnavas, but how they talk! They asked about me, which Vishnu does he accept? The Vishnu who preserves the universe? Oh, he is beneath our notice. And with Shiva? Well, we believe in the Atmaramashwara Shiva. One of them suggested, well, you better explain to him which Hari you worship. Whereupon another restored, my friend, why drag us into the matter? Settle it yourself. They were mere weavers by profession. They were mere weavers by profession, and still they talked big. One or two incidents that happened during the master's stay at Kamarpukur, either on this or on some previous occasion, for he visited his native village almost every year during the rain, deserve mention, since they bring out some of the prominent features of his character. Once he was suffering from indigestion and had to live upon liquids one night after taking his supper of milk and barley water he retired, as did the ladies of the house. Suddenly, at dead of night, he came out of his room with a staggering gait and called out to the woman, are you all asleep? Will you give me anything to eat? Why, you have taken your cup of milk and barley water, replied one of the ladies. When did I do it? I have just returned from Dakshineshwar, said the master. The ladies were puzzled. They realized that he was talking from another plane of consciousness, but what was to be done under the circumstances? There was nothing in the house they could offer him. One of them ventured to say, there is nothing in the pantry except some parched rice. You may take a little of that, it won't hurt you. So saying, she brought some and offered it to him, but like a petulant child, he turned his face away and said that he did not care for it. They tried in vain to persuade him that any other kind of food would be injurious. Consequently, they had no alternative but to purchase at that unusual hour a quantity of sweets, and the master ate them all as well as the plate of parched rice. Everyone trembled to think what this heavy meal would do to him, but the next morning, to their great surprise and relief, they found Sri Ramakrishna better. The 2 pounds of sweets had cured him. So, my dear friends, today I am stopping here. Let's enjoy our own meal with wholeheartedly. With gratitude that we are here to have those meal by the grace of our God and Almighty, and let's pray that every mouth find its find its food, every mind find its food, so that we can heal ourselves, so we can move forward faster and faster with steady health towards our ultimate goal. With this best wish, let's stop here today. Be happy, be jolly, and keep praying. Shubhamastu.